What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's upload we have the Maverick LOBO, and in my opinion this is one of the coolest designed pickups that Ford has ever made. And I know that's a pretty big statement because Ford is a brand that created the Raptor and so on, but let me explain. The Maverick is the smallest pickup that you can buy in the Ford lineup, but look at this thing. This is a truck for the streets. If we take a look at the styling and just the way that it sits, it is lowered 1 inch. It is pretty much leveled. This specific one here is black on black, which just makes it look absolutely awesome. The wheels are 19-inch and they're called the turbo fan wheels. This is one of two options. So you can get some black aluminum wheels as well, but in my opinion these look great, and they are rally inspired, which to me is interesting because they look pretty close to the Maybach style wheels that I had on the S65, for those that remember. Now we'll go over here to the fender badge, and it does indeed say Lobo. Now correct me if I'm wrong, for Spanish speaking viewers of the channel, Lobo is Spanish for wolf, and in Mexico, for instance, only a baseline work truck, let's say like an XL or maybe an STX, actually say F-150 on the fender badge. All the other F-150s say Lobo. So all the trucks that are the higher trim levels, I guess like a fully equipped XLT, maybe a Lariat and a Platinum and so on, they're not called F-150s in Mexico, they're called Lobo. But in this country, it is a trim level for the Maverick and also for the F-150. We got a video coming pretty soon on the F-150 Lobo as well. But just look at this thing. It looks so cool. We'll walk around here and just start with the bed. Since it is the smallest pickup in the Ford lineup, we only have a 4-inch bed. We have these plastic covers here in case you're actually doing truck stuff and like throwing stuff in the bed and you don't want to scratch the paint. You don't, because it is indeed plastic unless you hit this part here. Now this specific Maverick is equipped with the 702A equipment package, which is the higher end equipment package. You also have a 402A package, but with the 702 you get the full power plug here, so you can actually charge things from the bed of your truck. You have little LED lighting right there by pushing that button, and over here you actually have a little storage compartment, I guess for smaller size tools that maybe you don't want hopping around in the bed. And this is what it looks like from the rear. So what I love about a Lobo is that it's color matched with the bumper. So obviously black exterior, the bumpers are color matched as well. And for those who remember the Gen 2 Raptor we had, I actually had that truck color matched with the bumpers, and it just looks so much better. You don't have that plasticky look. So if we get back to the front of the truck here, we have obviously color matched bumpers here, and they should have done this little plastic part too, in my opinion. We have a black grille, and this thing just looks aggressive. It looks mean. I love the daytime LED running strips here. If this was my truck, I would tint these amber lights here black as well. If we quickly go over here to the fender badge, this should be gloss black also. Now since this truck is black, you can't really see the difference, but all Lobo trucks get a black roof. So even if you have a gray one or a blue one, you get a black roof, and it's just a nice contrast. So what engine do you get in the Maverick Lobo? Well, you actually only have one option, and that is a 2-liter 4-cylinder EcoBoost, which means turbo in Ford language, and it's 250 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. For a regular Maverick, you also have a hybrid version available with a lot less power. It's under 200. My only gripe with this Maverick being a street truck, because that's kind of what it's supposed to look like. If you just look at it, it doesn't look like a regular truck. That's supposed to tow, that's supposed to go off-road, that's supposed to load a bunch of stuff in the bed. It should have a bit more power. Although this is a, again, small truck, it only weighs 3,800 pounds. It still has some pickup, but if they would put at least the 3-liter V6 EcoBoost that's in the Explorer ST with 400 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque. Or even the upgraded version of that engine that's in the Bronco Raptor that has 418 horsepower and 400 and I think 30 pound-feet of torque. This thing could be a little rocket ship. And I don't think Ford would have to do that much more to make it reliable. It's not too much power, but it would be great power for this little truck. So, only engine available is this 2-liter 4-cylinder EcoBoost, 250 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. I hope Ford would listen to this if they see this video and do that for maybe a later model that comes out. That would be really, really cool. I mean, a huge ask would be to put the Raptor EcoBoost engine in here with 450 horsepower and over 500 pound-feet of torque. That would be cool. But yeah, this is what we have to work with now. And also, before we jump in, a regular Maverick with the same engine. That is not a Lobo. It's an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, if you get the hybrid version, you have a CVT transmission. But with the Lobo, for some reason, they put a 7-speed transmission in here. And if I'm not mistaken, it is from the Euro spec version of a Focus ST. So only the Maverick Lobo gets the 7-speed transmission with paddle shifters, and it's actually pretty freaking quick. So let's jump inside, take a look at the interior, which is actually pretty nice, and then we'll take it out on the road. And yeah, one more thing. Since it is a truck, we do have to mention this. I mean, trucks should be able to tow. Now again, said this a million times already in the video, this is the smallest pickup they can buy in the Ford lineup. So obviously it's not going to tow as much as an F-150 or a Ranger, but a regular Maverick with the max towing package can tow 4,000 pounds. And I'm assuming that is suspension related. Again, this one is lowered, it's more leveled out. A Maverick Lobo can only tow 2,000 pounds. I mean, that's low. Now granted, I don't think people buy this to tow a bunch, but 2,000 pounds is low for a truck. Anyhow, let's jump inside. So I filmed the Maverick when they first came out about, I don't know, what was it, 2 years ago maybe? I had one as a press vehicle, and I actually kind of like the interior of this one. The one that I had wasn't quite as nice, but this is a pretty cool door handle. It's not a full handle, it's more like just something you grab onto. We got grabber blue accents on here, and it is kind of plasticky, but it's like a blue hue. It still looks pretty nice. We got a cup holder here, and then we have like a spot for a bottle here as well. I like that. And then the seats are super nice. So we got Lobo in the seats, and then we got two-tone stitching. We got blue and yellow stitching, and the same goes for the back. Now I always do this little test here, knee room test, and this is my driving position as a 6'2" guy. So we'll jump in. I mean, I would have to ask the driver to definitely move up because it gets a little tight here. Again, it's a smaller truck. Okay headroom though. Yeah, you have a little valley here where it actually gives you a little more headroom, but knee room is pretty bad. And then we got the floor mats and all that stuff back here. This is a brand new truck, by the way. That's always when I do Ford videos. I got it from Moon Township Ford, my old employer. So thanks to them for lending me this for a few hours. I can film a video for you guys. If you're interested in this one or anything else they have on the lot, I'll leave all their contact information in the description below. Back here we have a full power plug. We have two USB-C ports there. A little slot there. What is that for? Yeah, someone fill me in the comments. I don't really know what that's for. Now we also have grabber blue accents here in the vents, and I just think that's a really cool touch. And yeah, I mean, it's got like these little bolts and stuff here in the door handles and so on. It's designed cool. I like it. We have a big cubby right here, not big, but you can put stuff there. But full LED screen for the instrument cluster, and then we got a big navigation screen here as well. Now here's something that is really interesting. So you got different drive modes obviously, and we'll go through them here. So we're currently in normal, and then you can go to eco obviously, and then it has slippery mode. But then if we go past these and we get to sport mode, yeah, you can't hear it here, but once we get out on the road, And it's pretty cool because you can hear like a blow-off valve, so like turbos whooshing while you're driving, while you're on the throttle. Hopefully the GoPro will pick that up later on. But if we go through the modes here again, we got tow haul mode, and then we got Lobo mode, and this is for track use only with the 250 horsepower. Just be very careful when you're in Lobo mode. So this turns off traction control, and obviously the gearing is different and so on. But I think it's so funny. It's almost like a Baja mode for the Raptors, you know what I mean? But in the Raptor, you can actually go nuts, like go jump, and you do all kinds of crazy stuff, because that's a very capable truck. But they put a track use only mode in the Maverick Lobo with 250 horsepower. I mean, you gotta love it. I think it's so cool. It's very ambitious. Yes. I had to blast air conditioning here for a while, because even though it's not that hot out today, it only says 78. It's extremely humid, and your boy was sweating. So anyhow, I've gone through this infotainment system in other Ford videos. I feel like I get repetitive, so we're not going to spend too much time with it, but it is a great infotainment system. What I like down here is that it still has some physical buttons, especially for the amazing 360 camera. And also when we're driving later on, there's this feature that I love. So basically it has lenses right there on each side, and you basically have an excellent blind spot view while you're driving, and it allows you to stay on. I love that feature. And it has heated seats right here. We have a heated steering wheel. This is also part of the 702A package. I'm pretty sure you don't get these with the 402A package. Go to features, and here's a thing. I've always wondered what this button is. Record feedback.
Record any likes, dislikes, or suggestions about the experiences with your vehicle, and then select send.
So basically, I thought like you could record, I don't know, like little notes to yourself or something, but that's not what it is. It is feedback to Ford. So you can record a feedback here, maximum 45 seconds. I don't know if it works. I don't know if you have to buy the vehicle first and it has to be registered to your name or something like that, but we're going to try it and see what happens. Hi Ford, my name is AutoVlog. I'm doing a review of a Maverick Lobo here, and I have a suggestion. Why don't you put the 3-liter 6-cylinder EcoBoost engine under the hood with 400 horsepower? That would perfect this little truck and give it some more performance. Is that going to work?
Thank you. Your feedback was sent.
All right. I have no idea if they care about what I think, but that's my feedback. And then basically you have all your settings and so on here. Sync 4 is definitely a good system. But before we start driving here, we have the sliding rear window button right there. We got a USB and USB-C port here. We have wireless charging for your phone right down there. Another little cubby here. I guess here you can put your phone right there. I want to charge it. And we have 2 cup holders right there. And then as we showed on the driver's side, we have a cup holder there, and then a cool little slot for a bottle there as well. More cubbies here. I keep the key right there. Pretty deep armrest cubby. We got a sunroof. And yeah, also the blue and yellow nice stitching on the steering wheel. It has all the features, blind spot monitoring. We have adaptive cruise control. All that stuff that we're used to nowadays. Answer your phone and Bluetooth, and yeah. It also has a 8-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system with a subwoofer. Displaying that in videos never does justice, but it's actually a pretty good system. But I always feel like it's best to start the driving portion of the video in POV format, because this is kind of what you would experience anyhow if this was yours. So we got the rotary dial for the transmission. It's just park, reverse, neutral, and drive. And then you have the manual button right there. So we're going to click that. And then these tiny little paddle shifters here on the side. And when you have it in sport, it actually shifts really quick. That's pretty impressive. So this 7-speed transmission that I think the Maverick Lobo is the only vehicle that gets it, you can shift pretty quick. So downshift, upshift, Yeah, it shifts really quick. But still, it feels kind of corny driving this in manual mode, so we'll put it back in drive. Hopefully you can hear the turbo whoosh. Yeah, I hear it. I'm pretty sure the GoPro's not picking that up. We have an external shot though. I haven't checked that footage yet, so I don't know if it picks that up, but it's still cool. I like it. We have turbo whoosh in the Maverick Lobo. You also get revised steering and suspension. I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm assuming that the revised suspension, since this is a street truck, should be somewhat stiffer. And the steering, I mean, I guess pretty direct. I can't remember what the steering was in the regular Maverick that I filmed 2 years ago, so I can't really compare the two. But this is a great truck. I mean, there's plenty of room in here for the driver, I would say, and, you know, a passenger, and it rides well. And when you get on the pedal, again, only 250 horsepower, this is like one instance I would say that induction noise is okay, because the induction noise makes it sound not super fake, but it makes it sound a little gruntier than it probably is. It doesn't sound half bad in here. Yeah, and I'm not a proponent of, you know, exhausts on like 4-cylinder engines, especially EcoBoost 4-cylinders. They sound awful. For anyone that's a regular viewer of my channel, you know that I love loud. If it's a good loud, like a V8 loud, like a V10 loud, like a V12. Not all loud is a good loud. So, you know, I mean, I'm happy with the way that it sounds in here for a 4-cylinder Maverick Lobo. Again, they should put the 3-liter 6-cylinder EcoBoost in there instead and give it some more power. But yeah, it rides very, very nice. These seats are nice. They're not some kind of Recaro performance seats or anything. They're soft and they hug you enough, I mean, enough that you would need in something with 250 horsepower. And also, since it's a smaller pickup in the Ford lineup, you don't have to pay as much. Now, obviously, it doesn't do as much as an F-150 would, but it all depends on what you're looking for and what you need done from your vehicle. If you get one with the 402A package, it still looks the same. You don't have just the same, you know, features and stuff. You're under 40 grand for a brand new truck. I mean, it does have some pickup. It does. It's not that bad. Although you can always have more. More power is always better. Yeah, thank God this thing is light. It's under 4,000 pounds. Yeah, you know what? I mean, I remember back in the 90s when I was still young, like in my early 20s, when a car had 250 horsepower, that was serious numbers. It really was. I mean, granted, it wasn't like a super performance vehicle, but it was still a lot. Now, you know, you just scoff at 250 horsepower. But again, I've said it probably 3 times already, it actually suits this truck pretty good because it does have 280 pound-feet of torque also, so it is pretty torquey. Man, this truck has so much potential though. I keep saying that the power is good for this truck. Yeah, I mean, like, it's well balanced. I mean, if it just had more, this thing would be awesome. And like, it just looks so cool, I have to say, man. You'll probably obviously start changing stuff anyhow, but it is a cool truck out of the box. Ford is good with this out of the box stuff. Like a Raptor is amazing. It's the coolest truck out of the box. Maybe a TRX beats it now, but it used to be at least. So yeah, I don't think we have to say much more. Let me know what your favorite feature of the Maverick Lobo is down in the description. And thanks again to Moon Township Ford for lending me this for a few hours so I can make a video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.